When creating our project schedule, we sequence activities based on logical relationships and dependencies. Some dependencies are mandatory, while others are discretionary or best practices. Think about two routine maintenance activities that are common for car owners: refueling and changing tires. These activities are performed independently. Why? Well, the equipment needed for each of these activities is a little different, and many people choose to pump their own gas while paying someone else to change the tires. The fact that these activities are performed separately seems to be based on logic. However, there is one situation where a car is refueled at the same time the tires are changed because time is of the essence. Can you think of the situation where both activities would happen concurrently? You may pause the video at any time to determine the answer and then resume the video when you're ready to hear the correct answer. If you said a pit stop, you are right. In the interest of saving time and getting the race car back on the track as quickly as possible, the activities of pumping gas and changing tires is performed simultaneously. There is no time to waste. Now, this pit crew is highly trained and specialized. Imagine what might happen if you attempted to refuel your car at the same time your tires were being changed. For starters, there would probably be some mistakes as people got in one another's way and accidentally bumped each other. We could be introducing safety issues since we are dealing with flammable materials, and we would be attempting to perform two activities at the same time when there is a logical reason to do them one at a time. Let's say that today is June 1st and you are in the middle of a 12-month project. Everything has been progressing well and your project is on schedule. Then you receive a visit from your sponsor that changes everything. Your sponsor says, due to unexpected circumstances, we must finish this project 1 month early. We must be finished by the end of November. Also, there is no money in the budget for crashing the schedule. You have to do this without spending additional funds. Think of this scenario in the context of fast tracking. If today is June 1st, we want to best utilize this technique to finish the project a month ahead of time. The first thing we want to do is consider activities on the critical path. It makes sense to compress the duration of the critical path because that is the only way to compress your overall schedule. Without knowing the attributes of these activities, let's assume that all of the dependencies are discretionary. It's probably a best practice to perform them in sequence, but they don't have to be. Can you determine how we might use fast tracking to compress our schedule? Feel free to pause the video at any time and resume when you're ready. There are a few options here. One of them is to perform activities E and F in parallel or at the same time instead of in sequence as they were originally planned. By performing these activities together, you can compress the schedule by 1 month and finish the project by the end of November as instructed by your sponsor. If you were thinking about starting activity D before activity C was finished, or performing activity E at the same time as activity D, those are also possible options. Before determining exactly which activities can be fast-tracked, you would review the activity attributes to determine why the dependencies were there in the first place and why the activities were sequenced in this manner. You certainly don't want to ignore a mandatory dependency that was placed there by a key stakeholder. Because of the added risks that fast tracking introduces to a project, it is important for the project manager to consult with key stakeholders and to seek expert judgment. Together, you can identify the risks, plan risk responses, and assess the impact on any other areas of the project. You will submit a change request and utilize integrated change control so that the schedule baseline and any relevant project documents can be updated. In summary, fast tracking is a schedule compression technique that can be used to reduce the duration of your schedule. It should be carefully considered because of the added risk it can introduce to your project.